Hi, friends. Welcome back to Rediscovering Truth, where we find truth and live free. I'm so excited to be here today with my friend from the Ottawa Food Bank, Samantha Ingram. We're going to be having a conversation around food insecurity, which is part of our ongoing series addressing food insecurity in our local community, and is going to be part of a series of videos that we do to address the topic and to give you information in terms of what you can do to contribute to solving this issue. So I want to thank you, Samantha, for being here and for representing the Ottawa Food Bank. But just introduce yourself for our viewers, give them a little bit about yourself.
Certainly, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor to be able to speak to you and to speak to everyone seeing this. Food insecurity truly isn't something we should see in our city or in our country. So I'm really happy to speak with you today. As you said, my name is Samantha Ingram. I'm the communications manager for the Ottawa Food Bank. And I've been there for almost 10 years now, about 9.5. And I'm thrilled with what I do every day. It's nice to know that I'm doing something that truly helps our neighbors.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, and we're glad to have you. The Ottawa Food Bank is legendary, and we know of the extensive work that it does to feed those who don't have enough food for themselves. So we're grateful to have you. So we're going to get right into the question, and we're going to start off with probably the biggest question. What is food insecurity? What is this thing? What does it mean when I say food insecurity?
Food insecurity actually has a bit of a spectrum. So you could be low, medium, or high on the food insecurity spectrum. And it's quite simple in that it is you do not have enough food or enough money to purchase food to eat properly for a day. One day is all it takes, whether it's for yourself or for your family, and that's food insecurity. And at the end of the day, Canada doesn't have a food problem. We have enough food in our country to feed everybody. We have a poverty problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where food insecurity lies. It's a symptom of poverty.
Okay. So then how does food insecurity affect those who have enough food? Why should they care about this issue?
Aside from just empathy and wanting to help your neighbor, people who are not food insecure certainly should still care about it, because on average, the cost of poverty is between $27 to $33 billion across the country. So that definitely affects your average citizen who doesn't experience food insecurity. And that's because of people who are food insecure generally have other health issues. So it's healthcare system costs. There could be justice system costs, loss of tax revenue costs, things like that. It all adds up because of food insecurity.
Yeah.
We aren't going to see food insecurity go away until we address the larger issues of poverty. You need to look upstream and see what is causing the food insecurity in the first place. Affordable housing, proper job employment, proper pay, all things like that have an impact on poverty, which then food insecurity is seen as a result.
So then I guess a question that I have that is burning, it doesn't make sense that in a G7 country, a country where our GDP is a trillion and something dollars, how is it that people lack access to food in this country? Because some people might think, we're not a third world country where the economy isn't as efficient, the dollar isn't as great, where food is actually scarce because there isn't the right sort of agricultural and geological ingredients there. But in Canada, we have the technology, we have the skill, we have the money. How is it that people lack money lack food in this country? And is there a cost? Is there like, do we know of a cost that could help fix food insecurity? I mean, I imagine there isn't a blanket cost because we'd have to address poverty overall, but is there maybe an arbitrary number that could fix food poverty in Canada?
It isn't an arbitrary number that I know. You sort of touched on it in that, we can't just throw food at the problem because it's not a lack of food. So I can't throw out a grocery list and a cost it would take. But yeah, it really is addressing those root causes of poverty. And unfortunately, we've let it go for so long that the number Canada-wide would be pretty astronomical. But, we need to start doing things that break that cycle of poverty. Yeah. We need to do things that make things simpler for people. Something as simple as making your income taxes at this time of year easier. We have an opt-in system where you have to do the paperwork. The government knows how much you should get back, but you have to opt in to get it. There are other countries where it's an opt-out system where you're guaranteed that money, or they tell you how much you're going to get back, and for some reason you have to opt out. So making things like income tax easier for people. Again, we need to address jobs. We currently, in Ottawa at least, we have, pandemic aside, we have a gig economy where full-time jobs with health benefits, vacation, those aren't necessarily given a priority. No. The gig economy means that we have part-time jobs or seasonal positions, and these positions don't necessarily provide the benefits needed. Whereas if someone gets sick, or if a child needs to be taken out of school, sick days aren't provided to people, and that comes at a loss. So there's a bunch of things, smaller steps that can be taken that would help and would help break down that cost. But I don't have a magical number for you. Through our network of food banks across the city, we provide food to approximately 39,000 people every month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big number. It's a larger number than I knew prior to starting to work with the Ottawa Food Bank. 36% of those people are children, which is under the age of majority, under the age of 18. Mm-hmm. And so you see these children growing up in poverty, growing up food insecure, and unfortunately, that can create a cycle of poverty, and it's hard to get out if proper jobs and housing isn't made available. Right now, housing costs, whether you're renting or trying to buy a house, they're daunting. They're huge. It's difficult. And there's over a 10-year waiting list for individuals to get into affordable housing right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So even if you're trying to save money for your family and get into affordable housing and end that cycle of poverty, you're not guaranteed to get into a house anytime soon. There's over a 10-year waiting list.
I guess I should have asked this earlier, but I'll ask it now. What is the Ottawa Food Bank? What is it? I mean, I guess food bank sounds self-explanatory, but for those who, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, they don't know. What is the Ottawa Food Bank?
For those who don't know, the Ottawa Food Bank is the largest food hub in the National Capital Region. And so what that means is if I were somebody in need of emergency food assistance, I wouldn't necessarily go to the Ottawa Food Bank warehouse. We're responsible for collecting food and money in order to purchase food and fundraising on behalf of a network of 112 amazing food programs across the city. Wow. So we're really fortunate to partner with these amazing food programs across the city, who we call our member agencies. And they then give food directly to the people in their community who are in need. Oh, okay. These programs range. It's everything from the big downtown shelters to after-school programs for children, community food banks where you can go and receive an allotment of groceries. And there's some within the colleges and in the universities. Yeah. And there's a wide range of what the programs are, and we are fortunate enough to be able to work with them.
And so you manage the sort of the distribution of food and funds, but you don't necessarily have a place where people can come to get food from you guys, like the
Correct.
community.
If someone were to accidentally come to our door in need of food, we wouldn't turn them away. We're, of course, there to help. We would give them some food to tide them over until they can go to the food program that's within their community. But what we are doing now directly out of our location, which started as a result of the pandemic, is we now do home delivery for those who can't leave the home for a number of reasons. Right now, single parents aren't necessarily advised to head to their food bank because then you have to bring your children, and that's not great. Elderly people, injured people, people who have to self-isolate, we're now able to go directly to their home and deliver food to them. Food banks in general do get referred to as a Band-Aid solution. And you know what? We sort of embrace that. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If I cut myself, you better believe I'm going to go and grab a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
We know that, like I said, throwing food at the problem isn't going to solve it, but we're helping those people in the meantime, while we are also advocating for change across the city, across the province, and across the country. Our CEO, Rachel Wilson, has been extremely busy talking to councillors and elected officials to see what can be done in our city in order to get a poverty reduction strategy in place. We don't have one. So, we sort of we as a city, we sort of try and do little things to make change, but we don't have a greater poverty reduction strategy that is actionable, that is holding our municipality accountable for change. So we're doing what we can to try and advocate for change, and hopefully that will have the biggest impact on food insecurity.
My final question, I've been so grateful to talk to you about all of these issues. Our young people find them important, and especially in this current, society, people want to give back. They want to help. They don't have $101 million, but they want to help any which way they can. And so I've been grateful for talking to you and really being able to just hash out this issue, understand it more. I've learned, and I thought I knew a lot about this topic, and I'm sure a lot of people who thought they knew a lot about food insecurity have learned so much more, that it's more than just food insecurity. And I like how you said that, you can't just throw food at it. It's a part of a larger issue. It's a symptom of a larger issue. So I guess my question, the final question I'll ask, and this is for all of our viewers and our young people: how can young people make an impact? How can young people help in this cause or on this issue?
Yeah, well, you said not everyone has, $1 million to help, but every dollar really does go a long way. If you want to help the immediate issue and help us provide food to our community, money really does help. You can donate from the safety of your home online at ottawafoodbank.ca. We're able to turn every dollar donated into $5 of food back into the community. So It really does go a long way. Volunteering always helps. If it's not necessarily with us, I'm sure a community food bank that's nearby would love to hear from you and volunteer. We have a farm that's almost opening up soon, and that's pretty much, we have one full-time employee there, a couple of seasonal employees there as well, and then the rest of it is all volunteers. So if you want to stay outdoors while volunteering, we'd love to have you on our farm. You can find all that information at ottawafoodbank.ca as well. But as part of the bigger issue, contact your counselor, contact your MP, contact your MPP, let them know that you don't like what you're seeing across the city, province, or country, that there needs to be a change and that it's important to you. It's always so incredible when you see young people in particular start to advocate for change. And I hope young people realize that the power that they have. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing that Councillor Ralston King in Vanier, he's a huge advocate for a poverty reduction strategy. So he is amazing, and I'm sure he'd love to hear from you all that you're supporting him as well.
So thank you so much, Samantha, for your time, and thank you to the Ottawa Food Bank for its amazing work. And I guess, like you said, if people have more questions, they can go to ottawafoodbank.ca, and they can go there and get more information. They can get plugged into volunteer on the farm. I'm going to be looking into that, volunteering on the farm, and they can really make a great impact in their community. So thank you so much, Samantha, and thank you to you, our viewers, for watching and for being engaged. Like Samantha said, you can go to the Ottawa Food Bank website to get more information and to make a contribution and to really help address this issue. You can reach out to your elected representatives to really let them know that you believe we should have a food poverty reduction strategy, something to address poverty in our city. And most of all, you can keep on coming back to this channel. We're going to keep talking about issues relating to food insecurity and other issues that affect our community here in Vanier. So thank you for tuning in to Finding Truth, Rediscovering Truth, where you can find truth and live free. We'll see you next time. Bye, friends.